Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I would like to gift my book, The Golden Key, Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance to you at goldenkey.gift, where you can get the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD at checkout.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am super excited that you've joined me today on what is a more magical day than others because it is the summer solstice. A very magical day indeed. And as a matter of fact, there have been so many ancient sites that have aligned their structure, their alignment with the summer solstice. And oftentimes in history, we call them calendars. And yes, they were used for that purpose, but they were also used for a different purpose as well. This day is such an important and magical day because it is the longest day of the year. It is the day that we have the most sunlight, the most light. That light coming from the sun is our life-giving force. If you think about it for a second, if we didn't have the sun, we wouldn't be alive. Nothing would be alive. We wouldn't have any plants. We would not live without the sun. We would be freezing. There's so many different reasons why we wouldn't survive without the sun. And so it is a life-giving force. And the ancients knew this. Ancients of all I shouldn't say all, many civilizations knew this. One prime example is ancient Egypt, Ra, the sun god. Many worshipped the sun because they understood that it was the creative, life-giving force, essentially a creator, a co-creator, a symbol of the huge creator, the one big unity of creator. Our sun is a symbol of that. And on this day, its light is the brightest. Our sun is also symbolic of us, right? When we think about our astrology, where the sun sign is a symbol of you, your personality, kind of who you are. So it is symbolic of the light that makes you you, that individual you that is your light that shines. So the summer solstice is a time to recognize that light within you and really own it, recognize our powerful. I was just thinking about how powerful we are. Recognize our power. We are incredibly powerful beings. And on this day is a day to remember that. And I believe that a lot of these ancient sites were set up as ceremonial sites to do just that, to recognize our own power, to ignite that magic within us, to not doubt our connections with the whole in unity of all that we are. That's another interesting thing about the sun. The sun is the life giver of our entire solar system. We think oftentimes of the sun and the moon because on Earth, that's what we see. But that's just on Earth. The moon is just Earth's moon. Other planets have their own moons. But the sun is for the entire solar system. So that is extremely powerful. And so today, on the day that we have the most sun of the year, it's a wonderful day to set intentions. And I was lucky enough to wake up at magic hour this morning. I happened to be up at 3 a.m., wide awake, and that's because I went to bed a little earlier than normal. So I did actually get a full night's sleep. I was up wide awake 3 a.m., and so I got up and I went outside and I enjoyed my morning. Well, soon enough, I realized it was summer solstice as the sun was coming up, and I decided to do a little sun salutation. And when I say I decided, it was more like I was told or the idea came to me to do that. It's not something that I normally do. It sounded wonderful, and so I did it. And it was almost like I was guided through these motions. And at the same time, I was guided through the intentions. And after I was done, I wrote them down, and I want to share those with you because there was this whole, if you do yoga, the sun salutation process, this goes along with it. So if you could see that, if you know what that is in your head, and I'll just tell you really quick if I explain it correctly. But you stand with first your hands at your heart center, and then you lift them gently above your head and reach towards the sky. And lean back a little and allow your arms to go back down towards the side as you gently bow down to the earth. And then allow your arms to hang and just release. And slowly roll back up and start that process all over again. And so here's the intentions that went along with that movement for me this morning. I stand centered and grounded in love and unity with the Creator and all of creation. I am grateful for everything. I allow all that does not serve me to be released back to the earth. I surrender attempts to control and allow the current to flow. I stand strong in the strength of love, compassion, and gratitude. I am centered in loving gratitude, in oneness, and in unity with all. This today felt so incredibly powerful, and I was very, very grateful that it was shared with me so that I can share it with you. And when I looked back at it and I thought about today and the energy of today, this is so, so fitting. This is a time to release all of the things in the past to move forward in this new direction. Summer solstice is the beginning of a new cycle. It's the beginning of a new direction. So metaphysically and spiritually, it means the same thing for us in our lives. This is a time to move forward on our path along our journey. It is a time to go within, recognize our power, and move forward with it, releasing all of those things that are keeping us from recognizing that power. And there are so many ridiculous things keeping us from recognizing our power. Yesterday, I did a really wonderful session that I will share with you eventually. I don't have permission to share it yet. I just haven't received back any a message about that yet, but I'm sure I will. This session was so aligned with the summer solstice, and I say that in that way because it was very similar, and I can tell you about this other similar session that I had that was about the Sphinx that I did years ago. Now, this was all about the alignment. They were building these structures, the Sphinx, the pyramids, with a certain geometrical alignment that aligned them in such a way to promote this energetic current. This was very, very important, and it had to be precise. And so the Sphinx is a temple. There's a temple underneath the Sphinx. And in that temple, one client called it a pyramid, one client called it a temple. In this place, there are crystals, and these crystals contain knowledge and information. And these crystals are connected to the grid, to all of these different energetic points throughout the planet that are aligned in this way. And so this is one of the reasons, or maybe not reason, but one of the things that you can connect to all these different ancient sites. They're all connected in this alignment, all sharing knowledge and information along the grid. It's extremely fascinating. It's also very fascinating to me that this client came in just yesterday, the day before summer solstice, talking about alignment and one of the most amazing sacred structures that we have here on this planet. And also the crystals. There's a reason why this has been coming up lately. The crystals are also symbolic of our light. They are symbolic of our unity, our connection with the whole. We are connected through these grid lines, through our energy, through our light. There is no separation here. There is only one of us here. And when we recognize this light within ourselves, within each and every one of us, that light continues to get brighter. And on this day of summer solstice, we can set these beautiful intentions for exactly that.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Talkspace. When it comes to therapy, getting the help you need has never been so simple. Talkspace is like having a therapist in your pocket because you're able to access them from the comfort of your device via audio, video, or text 24/7. Talkspace is the #1 online therapy platform and has thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties. I believe it is important, if you're struggling, to realize it's okay to seek therapy. And this is the simplest way I know of to do it. And it's for a fraction of the cost of in-house therapy. Once you join, you can speak with someone that same day. You'll set goals with your therapist, and they hold you accountable and make sure you're really progressing. As a listener of this podcast, you'll get $100 off your first month with Talkspace. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com. Make sure to use the code POSITIVE to get $100 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's positive at Talkspace.com.
There is no reason for us to be doubting ourselves, not believing in ourselves, or thinking that we are unworthy anymore. This seems to be a pattern that I am seeing over and over and over and over again with what I would term sixth dimensional wanderers. These are beings who have gone through all the dimensions of existence along this timeline and have gotten to that place and decided, you know what? They look back and they see what's happening and they say, I want to come back and help. And so they do, but they follow the same rules as the rest of us where they have to forget. And what happens is they forget everything that they knew before, but they come in with these gifts. They come in being very, very empathic, very sensitive, very claircognizant and aware. These people have a knowing that they cannot describe. And maybe I'm talking about you. The knowing is one of the hardest things to really put your finger on it because there is no solidity to it. You don't see anything in your mind's eye. You don't hear anything in your mind's ear. There's nothing that you smell or taste or touch. It is a feeling within you. And sometimes it is just a knowing, like somehow I know this and I don't know how I know this. There is nothing you can touch. The feeling you can actually feel. The knowing, way different. So when you come in with this knowing, what happens is you doubt yourself. You doubt your intuition. You think you're making everything up all the time. Although you do know you're quite intuitive because there's a lot of things that you do get right. And you know how to listen to that tiny voice. At the same time, you doubt yourself. I did this for so long, and I don't do it anymore because I learned to not do it through this doubt process. And so I encourage all of you, every single one of you, if you are doubting yourself, if you're doubting your intuition, I want you to just play with it. What's the harm? There is absolutely nothing to fear. You're always guided and protected. There's not a single one of us here who is ever alone. We have so much protection. My clients are being told this consistently, constantly. You are never alone. We are always here guiding and protecting you. Your higher self is always speaking to you. They just want to help you. They're like the most beautiful parent ever that is guiding you and protecting you and unconditionally loving you along the way. And the thing is, they just can't do it for you. If they do it for you, it has absolutely no benefit for you along the way at all. And so they make you work. They give it to you in symbols. They make you feel like you're making it up. Actually, they don't make you feel that way. It's just the way it is here. It feels like we're making it up because it comes from that same side of the brain where our imagination is. It's literally quite that simple. So what happens is we get ourselves in this doubt process and our higher self is just smacking itself on the head like, oh, come on, I've been trying to tell you. And once you finally get it that you've been your own worst enemy this entire time, just not understanding that this little tiny subtle voice is the one to listen to. Many people say to me, but I want a neon sign. I want it to be really loud and really just so I know, so I have the confirmation. Well, confirmation is given all the time, but there is no way it's coming to you in a neon sign, not in that metaphorical way. That's just giving it to you. They can't do it for you like that. You've got to come to it on your own, and that is extremely important. They're trying to teach you to listen to the subtleties of this voice. And once you get it, you don't doubt it anymore. Now, I want to give you guys a really neat example of what's been happening for me lately. I told you last week, I think it was last week, that a lot of my QHHT sessions that I've been doing have been so beneficial for me. And it's like their higher selves know exactly what I need to hear. And so I've been told this during every single session. So interestingly enough, in my session yesterday, I had just come across a past life of mine. And when I say this, this is something that I come up with in my own memory. And this might sound ridiculous, but I've learned to listen to the subtleties. Plus, I do this for a living, so I understand what these memories are and how they come. My very first experience with having a past life memory was through watching a movie. I watched this movie and I was so unbelievably emotional about it, like it was happening to me. And after that, it caused a lot of reflection within me. And then later on in life, I had a psychic tell me that that was an existence of mine. I didn't tell her about that movie or how I felt, but then she told me that. And then when I started doing this technique, I had a client who went through that life and I was in it. And as she was going through that life, I had the same emotional experience. I was watching it with her. I knew that was me. And when she woke up and she told me that that was me, it was even more confirmation. And so these things come through very, very subtly, and they come through so that we can learn about ourselves. And so recently I had something come through, and again, through something that I was watching. This time it was a TV series, not TV, a Netflix series. I guess it's the same thing anymore. So this series, and I've been so emotionally tied to it. I feel like I'm even like defensive a little bit of the characters and their roles, and it made me think. I think I had a past life like this, and so I asked in meditation or in contemplation. Actually, I wasn't even in meditation. I was just sitting in my outside space where I like to do my contemplation, and I just asked, did I have a lifetime like this? And the answer that first came and that I trusted was yes. So I asked another question and I said, well, what period of time was this in? And I was given a date. So beautiful. So then I went and I looked this up because you can look these historical things up. And I found a picture that resonated with me so much, it hit me in the heart center and I cried. That right there, you cannot make up. If this is some person I've never seen before, have no connection with, I'm not going to have that type of reaction. So now, fast forward, I have this client yesterday, and during her higher self speaking to her, the higher self was using an analogy. And in this analogy, they actually used the name of this historic person, this figure that I looked up. They used the exact name. I thought I was hearing things for a second because it's not a common name. And I said, did you just say this name? And I'm sorry I'm not giving specifics. I just can't because it will just sound more ridiculous if I do. I'm trying to impart the concept because that's what's important. And so I asked them, is this what you just said? And then they said, yes. And what we mean was, and I said, I understand. And I think she does too. I was just clarifying. And what that was for me is them giving me that confirmation because I am believing and I am trusting. And so they're saying, yeah, okay, because you've made that step, we're going to help you a little bit with this one. And we are going to give you that added confirmation that would help you to even trust yourself more. So this is how it works. You give a little, they give a little. They won't do it unless you're doing it. Again, they're happy to help, but they will not do it for us. And so today, on this summer solstice, remember how incredibly powerful you are. Remember that you are made from the unity and oneness of all things, that your light is crystalline within yourself. It is this beautiful crystalline rainbow light, and you can shine that light as bright as you decide to. And today, you can decide to make that intention to grow and build that light each and every day. Not only in benefit for yourself, but in benefit for the whole, because as each one of us builds our light, we then benefit the whole. And as we know, what is in one is in the whole. And speaking of building your light, before I go, I want to remind you all of the event that me and my fellow beautiful, lovely, amazing, magical women friends and energy workers and healing guides are putting together on August 6th. It is the Lions Gate Portal to Ascension. We are doing an online all-day event and a panel at the end of the day where you get to ask questions. So you can check that out. There's links all over Facebook. You can find it very easily. And also, if you're considering being a QHHT practitioner and doing the work that I do, if it sounds like fun and you've been doubting it, It's time to stop doubting yourself. If you have been guided to do this work, it's time to do this work. The summer solstice is a really great time to start this new journey. So if this is something you've been thinking about doing, it's time to actually do it. If you want to do it, I have this amazing discount code for you, which is OneLove. You can go to the QHHTofficial.com website and put in that code, ONELOVE, and you'll get 10% off the class. So I love you all so incredibly much. I hope you have a beautifully intentional summer solstice day, and I'm going to leave you with a song. This is Magnetic Sunlight by Geometry. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Darkest of night, the sun does shine, rising once again to bring forth new light. So it shall be, and so it is.